Shalom, shalom, shalom. It's your brother Obadiayahing. Call Yahawah, Bashem, Yahawah, Barakatah, Yahawah, Barakatah, Yahawah. Okay, today is Sabbath for most people, and if you are enjoying your Sabbath at this particular time, that is a wonderful thing, and I would say all praises to the Most High. Today's lesson is going to be called Obadiayahing Why Blinded Hebrews Buy into Bywords. You know, Obadiayahing Why Blinded Hebrews Buy into using and calling themselves by bywords. This is a very problematic situation that is occurring just all too completely, frequently, and it's just it's basically embarrassing to the nth degree. There is a psychological, I call it a distorted psychological, a spiritually distorted psychological anomaly that they have chose to adopt the oppressors modifier and identifier of them as a people. It's just kind of ironic due to the fact that what we have is we have individuals who they're willing to be called and they're willing to embrace any other name or epithet or language that they are given by their oppressor. And this is what is so much of a major issue, is because what it does is it puts you in a position where if you identify with a racial epithet or a degradation in an epithet, being called black or being called one of the bywords that is so demeaning, and of course demeaning and derogatory bywords have been honed upon us because the Most High said it would in his prophecy about us. And of course I have scriptures to speak to that issue. Deuteronomy 28, 36, 37, 41, 44, 48, and 68 in Deuteronomy. In Psalms 44 and verse 14, in Zechariah chapter 8, 13, Job chapter 17 verse 6, and as well as Job 30 verse 9. And we're going to touch these precepts. Jeremiah 24, 8 and 10, in 1 Kings 9, and chapter 9 verse 6 through 9, and 2 Chronicles chapter 7, 19 and through 22, and Ezekiel chapter 23, 1 through 10, as well as Joel 2, 17. And so, and in all of that, what we see is there's a myriad of variety of different languages that the Most High is showing his reverence for us, his love, his care, his blessings, as well as his disdain and his chastisement on us based on the fact that we have been extremely disobedient children, and even being the chosen of the children that have been selected and predestined, we find ourselves in a position where we are getting slammed and continue to be, basically rape, rob, murder, like we have been since they first started in this land that belongs to us as well, and rightly so, because we have turned away from the Most High. We were given the ability, and we were given the responsibility of being a light to the world, and also to any of the Gentiles and some of the Hellenistic Gentiles that we see at this point in time. And I hate dropping names because I know every time I drop names, the AI, they don't like it, and they kind of start hunting out when you say things that identify specific individuals or groups. But here's the thing: we have a big problem because we are trying to embrace, and we have been embracing, a lot of us, and I would contribute the embracement to the individuals that would be considered to be in the line for elimination under the 2/3 aspect of the prophecy in Zechariah, when the Most High said that there 2/3 of his children would be eliminated based on the fact that they've completely turned away from him, and they refuse to come back to him in any particular way, even if they are awakened to the knowledge of who they are, which they don't wish to embrace. Let me explain that a little bit better, I guess. We are called everything under the sun except for a child of the Most High. We are called coons. We are called niggers, negroes, spear chuckers. I could go down the list. Porch monkeys. We are called everything, colored, black. And all of these are epithets of degradation for the most part. None of it is edifying in reference to who we are. And the point is, the Most High has specifically said that my people are called by my name. And, you know, that's very important to understand, because if you're not of the Most High, you're going to be easily subjected to being called and associated with an epithet, okay? And that's where it lays. Fact, we're going to go and we're going to pull some scriptures that speak to that, okay? All right, so let me get there. But again, why are we embracing names that we're not, who we are not? You know, why are we doing that, okay? What is the reason for that? And primarily the reason is because we have been indoctrinated to believe that the Most High's Son, Yahawaah, who they ignorantly call Jesus, has come to save the world, and everybody can be included in salvation no matter what they've done to his chosen people and the people of the world. You know, they can go off to say, you know, hey, you can rape, rob, murder, and do everything you want in the world, you Edomites, and then you can still receive salvation from the Most High and make it into the kingdom and get all the promises and all the blessings that the chosen people of the Most High get. That is not correct. That is an error. And, you know, that doesn't seem to be translating through when it comes to what's really going on in the mind of the people that are of the Most High. And basically, what does the Most High think about the wicked? Because what he says here in Psalms, okay, we're going in Psalm chapter 49, and that's Shalaki, Psalm chapter 50, he says, "But unto the wicked saith Yahawah, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth," which doesn't belong to them, right? "Seeing that thou hatest instruction, and castest my words behind thee, when thou sawest the thief, then thou consentest with him, and hast been partakers with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother." And Esau, you know, quite frankly, is our wicked twin who has been distorted by the Most High and stripped of his melanin, and is a clean leper, and is also slated for removal from existence. And that's the way it goes, right? So the Most High is not, he's not concerned with the fact that Esau has to be removed from this earthly plane. And he will be removed once he gets to the point where he starts to touch the elect. And once he does that, it's a wrap for him for good. And that's absolutely correct. I want to go to, where was I at? I was in Jeremiah 24. I want to go to Jeremiah 24 for a minute, because I want to read something. So let me get there. Jeremiah chapter 24. Shalaki. Okay, that's 31. 24. Here we go. Jeremiah 24, 8 through 10, right? Where is it? Shalaki, 24, 8 through 10. It says, "And as the evil figs, which cannot be eaten, they are so evil. Surely thus saith Yahawah power, so will I give Zedekiah the king of Judah and his princes, and the residue of Jerusalem that remaineth in this land, and them that dwell in the land of Egypt. And I will deliver them to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth for their hurt, to be a reproach and a proverb and a taunt and a curse in all places, whether I shall drive them. So he scattered us everywhere. And the reason why he scattered us is because we were disobedient to following his law, statutes, and commandments. And we put ourselves in a position now which we have done is we have embraced epithets, and we have embraced being called bywords, which the Most High said would happen to us. And now we have people like Roland Martin and Philip Scott and these individuals that only thing comes out of their mouth is black, 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 black. Like that's who we are. Nobody's black. This is black, okay? My Bible cover, that's black. There's none of us that are that color. And black is also associated with something that's death, something that's degraded, that's negative, that's unclean. Why would you want to be associated with being called that? Why would you take what your oppressor has labeled you through his rape, rob, and murder of the world, and then go to the point where you want to accept it and call yourself black? Why did he do it? When did he do it? Well, let's go to Psalms chapter 49 and read 11. It says here, this is what the Edomite subversion of the land has done. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. You see what I'm saying? So what they're doing is, and when they conquered these places and colonized these places through rape, rob, and murder, they started calling and naming these places with the degrading state that they have come up with in reference to how they bring these bywords and reproaches upon these people that they've taken advantage of. And this is what you see, right? So let's go now to, so we read Psalms 44:14, right? Yes, we did. We got that already. All right, Psalms 44:14. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. And my confusion is continually before me, and the shame of my face hath covered me. For the voices of him that reproach and blaspheme the reason of the enemy and avenger. All this is come upon us, yet have we not forgotten thee, neither have we dealt falsely in thy covenant. Okay? Our heart is turned back, neither have our steps declined from thy way. So there's some of us that are still trying to do what is righteous and best to the Most High, and following his law, statutes, commandments, and crying aloud and speaking out in reference to what we're supposed to be doing to praise and worship the Most High. But then you have some of us that have decided to become reinvented or revitalized Hellenistic Hebrew Israelite Jews here in this particular area of the world, and will not turn from that, and have been embracing that particular ideology and that particular way of life. And you can see that they're doing that because they still running around calling themselves Greeks and stuff like Alphas, Kappas, and all kinds of other names that were at one point and still should be an abomination to us. It should not be something that we should be getting ourselves involved in and with, but they're doing it anyway, and they think that that's civilized and pleasing to the Most High, that they've joined these organizations and formed some kind of camaraderie and some kind of association where they can come together and think that they're providing some usefulness to the Most High, who they call God, in terms of bringing our people together. But it doesn't. All it shows the Most High is that you have signed up and consigned yourself to being part of the world system, which he does not want you to be part of that. He told you to come out of Babylon, and you're trying to force that particular realm and way of existence in the face of the Most High, when he speaks completely against it. As well, he speaks completely against Christianity. It is not promoted in the Bible, it is not sanctified, and it is not a part of the Bible. They have forced you to think that that is the case, and you wickedly jump right in it and deal with it. And it says here, the wicked, they know but won't accept Yah's ways and laws. Okay, Job 21:7. Okay, it says here, wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, are mighty in power? Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of Yahawah power upon them. Their bull genereth and faileth not. Their cow cleaveth and casteth not her calf. They send forth their little ones like a flock, and their children dance. They take the tremble and harp and rejoice at the sound of the organ. They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave. Therefore they say unto Yahawah power, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. What is the Almighty, that we should serve him? This is what they say, okay? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? Lo, their good is not in their hand. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. And that's what the Most High say. And you know, it kind of blows me away. And I look at it sometimes and I say to myself, okay, when we transition to the spirit world, when you leave this flesh and you die and then you go to the spirit world, imagine, and I said to myself, I can imagine the situation now, knowing what the Bible says and the truth in it, and that Yahushua, the Father, and all the angels look like who they call black people. And so when the spirit of the Edomites get there, of the so-called white people get there, and then they see all these angels that are so-called black or or look like us, they're melanated angels, right? And then they see the Father and they see the Son, Yahushua, who they call Jesus, and he's the same. That to them has to immediately look at being a second death for them. Because the first death, of course, is of the flesh, and when they pass from the flesh to the spirit world, and then they get to the spirit world, and they see all these angels, and they be like, damn, 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 they're all black here. Imagine what they're going to have to go through in order to see that particular situation. It's got to just be something, boy, be a fly on the wall in heaven to check that out. Wouldn't that just be absolutely something? As soon as they get there, they see everybody looks like us. The same people that you've been torturing and tearing up and killing the whole time on the planet, and now you get there and they all Negroes. And none of them look like you. How about that? Zechariah chapter 8, right? Well, I said I was going to go there, right? So let me get there. I'm going to take this too. All right. There's my dog barking, letting somebody know that whatever you're doing, watch out. Give him that. All right. Zechariah chapter 8, verse 13. And it says here, and it shall come to pass that as ye were a curse among the heathen, O house of Judah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong. For thus saith the Lord, let's say the Lord Yahawah of hosts. Shut up, Zach! As I thought to punish you when your fathers provoked me to wrath, saith the Lord of hosts, and I repent not. So again have I thought in these days to do well unto Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. Fear ye not. These are the things that ye shall do. Speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against the neighbor. And love no false oath, for all these are things that I hate, saith Yahawah power. And the word of the Lord of hosts came unto me, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the fast of the 4th month, and the fast of the 5th, and the fast of the 7th, and the fast of the 10th shall be to the house of Judah, joy and gladness and cheerful feast. Therefore, love and truth and peace. So the Most High is definitely in our favor. But we have to adhere to that and move in that direction for him instead of moving away by embracing this wicked kingdom. How is it that you could think that you could find your way into becoming an individual that is going to embrace the wickedness of this world, and you want equal rights? So it's like what you're telling them is, we're going to embrace an epithet of letting ourselves be called black, embracing that, telling them that that's how we view ourselves as well as a people, but we want something from you in justice in this wicked world which can't show justice. So you basically want to have a wicked relationship and be called a epithet of black in order to associate and get some kind of freedom from a world that's set up to destroy you, which the Most High is controlling. So how does that work? There's no possible way it can work. And this is what we're trying to bring across to you, is the fact that you're asking for justice from a world that's wickedly set up, that has people who are doing degrading things to young folk, men on men, women on women. I mean, this is the kinds of things that's going on in this wicked world. It's Sodom and Gomorrah. But you want equal rights in this wicked kingdom so you can be viewed as a wicked human being. So you can be associated with the Edomites who have this wicked kingdom, which is what was given to them. Job chapter 9, verse 24, that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. If not, then who and where is he? Roughly paraphrased, but what I'm saying is, this is what the Most High has done. And so you want to associate yourself and be connected with that process by saying, give us equal rights in this wicked kingdom to be with you and to be as with you. Now see, that doesn't work, because every time we get into something that's of this system or of this world, the Edomites know that we dominated. Look at basketball, look at football, look at baseball. Every particular sport or organization that we get involved in, whether it be monetary, whether it be economic, whether it be sport-oriented, whether it be medical, we rise to the top. This is why they bombed and destroyed Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, because they saw we were doing exceedingly well without any involvement or interaction with them at all. They saw that that was the case. And what did they do? They put up a false narrative, some kind of situation where they blame someone for something that didn't happen, and turned around and then escalated the situation and made it worse than it is, and then bombed and killed everyone in that town and took it over because it was doing well. See, so they know they're not going to give you equal rights, because they know if you get equal rights, you'll rise above them and do better than what they are, and they don't want that. So you're not going to get that. So why would you want to be included in their political system? Why would you want to be included in their religious system? All they see you as is someone that will be a detriment to where they are and the way things are for them. And they don't want that. So you really shouldn't waste your time in that capacity. Okay, let's go to Job chapter 17. We're going to go there next, all right? Because that's where we're going to get our next precept from. I want to get Job. Then we're going to go to Kings. And from there, oh, Shlaki just passed to Job 17. All right, here we go. Job chapter 17. And we are reading 6. Shlaki. He hath made me also a byword of the people, and aforetime I was as a tabret. Mine eyes also is dimmed by reason of sorrow, and all my members are as a shadow. Upright men shall be astonished at this, and the innocent shall stir up himself against the hypocrite. The righteous also shall hold on his way, and he that hath clean hands shall be stronger and stronger. But as for you all, do you return and come now? For I cannot find one wise man among you. And that's what you have. You can't find any wise people among these individuals that are lined up to be part of the 2/3. They don't see in any way or capacity that they are wrong. They think that they could build groups and unions and communities that can do it without the Most High, and then they call him God, like he is outside of everything that's going on. He is in control of everything. And then they think that they just have the free reign to just to rule their own destiny when they don't. But this is what they feel, and these are the lies they've been told through their fake religious practitioners in Christianity, in which they follow. Why would you want to follow a system that has you completely blind and in bondage and away from the Most High? It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But this is what they do. Okay, where we said we were going to go to, okay, that was Job 17. Let's get 30 while we're here, because we said we would. So let's get 30. Job 30 and 9. And this was, it says, and now I am, and now I am their song. Yeah, I am their byword. You see, he said it right there off the bat. They abhor me, they flee far from me, and spare not to spit in my face, because he hath loosed my cord and afflicted me. You see what I'm saying? The Most High has done this. They have also let loose the bridle before me. Upon my right hand rise the youth. They push away my feet, and they rise up against me. The ways, the ways of destruction. They mar my path. They set forward my calamity. They have no helper. They came upon me as a wide breaking in of waters. In the desolation, they rolled themselves upon me. So the Most High is showing you that because we have become this byword, they're doing this. They're putting their knee on our necks. They're putting their feet on our backs. They're not going to give you any justice. They don't want you in their system because they know what's going to happen once you get in there. So why are you looking to become part of it? It just doesn't make any sense. But this is what you see people doing. Roland Martin and Philip Scott and all of them, and Lisa Cabrera, they're all talking about black, black, black. That's all they come out of their mouth. You might as well be called a nigger. I mean, and you hate being called that, but that's not even as bad as being called black. But that's what you embrace? How freaking stupid is that? It's the dumbest thing that you could possibly want to do. Okay, we're going to 1 Kings, and we're going to hit chapter 9. And 1 Kings 9. All right. And we want 6 through 9, right? Okay. Shalaki, we got it. But if ye shall at all turn from following me, ye or your children, and will not keep my commandments and my statutes, which I have set before you, but go and serve other gods and worship them, which is what they're doing. Fake white Jesus. They go worship him. They claim, they call themselves Christians, say their Jesus died for the whole world. This is not true. It's not what he was called. He wasn't called that back then when he was walking around. And that didn't even come out until 1634, the letter J, and be able to call that. And he was Esau anyway back then. He wasn't even called Jesus. And then now they're calling him Jesus like that's his name. And that's not his name. His name is Yahawashi. And they can't even get that right. So they can't even be called by his name. And we're going to get to that previous precept too. Okay? And it says here, all right, again, and gods, and they worship them. Then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, and this house, right? This house which I have hallowed for my name. So that means his name is important. Will I cast out of my sight, and Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people. And this is what we have. We are a byword, and we're this way amongst all people of the world. And this is how they look at us, and this is what they call us. And so it's just crazy that they can't seem to see that situation at all. It just seems to not. It just escapes them in terms of their spiritual maturity and their reality. They can't seem to get to that at all. Okay, all right. That was 1 Kings 9, chapter 9, 6 through 9. Now we're going to hit Chronicles, 2 Chronicles. We said that we would, so we're going to hit that. We're going to hit 2 Chronicles. And 2 Chronicles, what we want? 2 Chronicles 7:19, right? Yeah. 2 Chronicles 7:19. Lucky. We'll get there in a minute. You know me, I'll be flying through here. I'll be flying through here, boy. 462. Okay, First Chronicles, Second Chronicles. All right, now we're gonna hit. First, we're gonna do Second Chronicles, and we got chapter 7, and we're gonna go. As I said, you supposed to be people called by the Most High's name. His name is not black. There's no black land. There's no black heritage. There's no black nationality. That's a construct that's made up that is a degradation against our people, where they won't give us where they won't speak who we really are. They'll let you be everything else in the world. They'll let you be Catholic, Muslim. You could be any of the denominations. You could be any other belief system, but you can't be Hebrew or Hebrew Israelites, because they know that's when your power comes back. So they don't want you calling yourself by the name of the Most High Creator, Yahawah, who has created all things, and his son Yahawashi. They do not want you to do that. So then naturally what they do is they find ways to give you everything else but that, because they know once you go there, it's a wrap for them. Okay, chapter 7, 2 Chronicles 14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sin, and I will heal their land. So turn from your wicked ways, but being called by his name. That's why, you know, during the slave trade, when people came over here, the name Yah was all in their names. You know, just like, you know, Jeremiah, you know, when you got Isaiah, you know, these are the names that were there. And as you can see now, a lot of the brethren in Akim and Aquab, they're going back to the names being called by the name of their father, Yahawah, and by Hashem Yahawashi. But see, the thing is, they will not embrace that. And so they call themselves black, which means you're rejecting your heritage. You're saying, I don't want to be part of the Most High's heritage and lineage and be called by his name. I want to be called by a name that my oppressor, the Edomites, have given me, which is black. So you go around calling yourselves that, which is why you're cursed and you curse yourself. So you wicked Hebrew Israelites can't come out of your curse because you keep holding on to your Stockholm syndrome based spiritual ideology of thinking you're Christians and you're black, and you're getting exactly what you're supposed to be getting from the Most High as staying cursed, because you will not let that go. All right, we're going to pick up where on 19. But if you turn away and forsake my statutes and my commandments, which I have set before you, and shall go and serve other gods, which you're doing with fake white Jesus in his churches, and worship them, then will I pluck them up by the roots out of my land, which I have given them, and this house, which I have sanctified for my name. Yahawah is his name, right? Will I cast out of my sight, and will make it to be a proverb and a byword among all nations. And this is what we have. And then you got these fools that be on TV talking about, we got to get our own community together. We got to get black people to do this and black people to do that, and black people to get in Congress, and black people to get in the justice system, and black people to get in the money system. Wrong. If you're a friend of the world, you're an enemy of the Most High. These people who claim to be Christians and claim to know God, because that's not his name, they are wrong. And because they're wrong, what they're doing is wrong, and the Most High is not blessing that, and this is why they're getting destroyed. And this is why they're going to keep getting destroyed, because they're not in line with what the Most High has to say and what he wants. Okay, next we're going to go to Joel. Okay, let's get on over here to Joel, and we're going to go to chapter 2, verse 17. So let's get that. Joel chapter 2, verse 17. And it says, Shlaki. My one Joel 2:17, that's Amos. Okay, you got it. Here we go. All right. Let the priests and the ministers of Yahawah weep between the porch and the altars, and let them say, spare thy people, O Yahawah power, and give not thy heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Therefore should they say among the people, where is their God? So that's what they're basically saying. They're saying, you keep following the way that we have beat into you, tricked you, subliminally seduced you into following a golden hair, pale male retriever and calling him Jesus. And now you are tricked and the Most High is not with you. He shut down all your systems around the world. He's not bringing it back up. And now you're in worse than a catch-22 situation. Okay, what's going on? All right, you think about it. Said in the lesson before, the mask on your face shows your faith. The gloves on your hands shows you're not part of the Most High's plan. Okay? Now, so what are they going to do? All right, let's look at it. They got you all fearful. I was telling a few folk, I said, look, if the Most High gives you a breather, okay, what did he do? He pushed your abomination that Esau created. He pushed it. He allowed them to get COVID all over the place. Everybody got scared. A lot of people got sick. A lot of people got perished and eliminated, okay, from a man-made disease that the Most High escalated to the point where he started dismissing some people from this earthly plane. Okay, now, what ends up happening after that? Now, he said, okay, he let it settle down, let them get a breather, let them exhale and breathe, and now they went out and started to turn everything back open again and going back out and acting like nothing happened, like they're going to bring back this wicked kingdom again. Okay? Now they got a resurgence of this particular situation going on. Okay, so what ends up happening? They're going to try to force in this vaccine that's got all the abominations that you can possibly think in, that's going to light you up like one of your Roman candles, and then once you get that sick and become so viral and contaminated, like in the movie I Am Legend with Will Smith, and you see that all those things became zombies and all kinds of freaking toxic abominations. This is the same kind of process that you're going to end up happening on this situation. So all these people are going to be forced vaccinated. You're going to get a whole lot of people that are going to be eliminated and perish just from putting those abominations into their body. You know, bovine and dead fetal tissue and aborted fetal tissues and all kinds of viruses from before, the M1 and all kinds of plagues and SARS and all kinds of swine blood and urine and all kinds of crap that's in this vaccine, and when it gets in your body, it's going to wreak havoc with your immune system, which you're already compromised by having a mask on your face, so you're compromising your immune system anyway. So then once they get their vaccine and then they take the mask off and start breathing all that poison, it's going to light those individuals up and create more fatalities based on the fact that stuff is so toxic and what it's going to do to people. So they'll just be eliminating more people. So this is what you have coming, and the Most High is going to, you'd be surprised, he runs the left side and the right side, so don't be surprised, because he's going to allow certain things to happen, because he uses Esau as a whipping stick to do these things, and this is what you're up against at this particular point in time. So that's what you're talking about happening now. And then, you know, they'll take off their mask, they run around, oh, I got vaccinated, so I'm okay now, and then that stuff's going to blow out and become even worse, and instead of like it was with the first outbreak, where you had 1 or 2 out of 10 that got sick and passed away, then you're going to be reversed, and you're going to have, out of 10, you're going to have 2 that survive and 9 or 8 that pass away. And it's going to be a real serious situation. But you know what? They can't seem to see that. I did the lesson on 10 times 10,000. The wrath of the Most High is going to pour out that hourglass on a wrath on the people, because they disobeyed him and they mocked him, and when he shut this world down, they felt like they're going to open it up and they didn't care what he said. Well, guess what? You're putting yourself in a position where you're going to see his wrath again. He will not be mocked. You're going around calling yourselves a byword. You rejected his heritage. You don't want his name. You want to be called by the name of your oppressor, just like the title of the lesson is, why blinded Hebrews buy in to being called bywords and embracing it. You're sick, you're blinded, and the Most High is allowing you to be that way, and you're putting yourselves in the line for the 2/3 elimination process. and this is what you're going to get. And who's getting that line? Anybody that's calling themselves black. Israel niggas that's running around with their pants hanging off their behind, buying cigarillos and crap to make blunts and drinking like crazy and losing their minds. Super coons and super coonettes that are working for the system against their own people, trying to get into political positions in a wicked kingdom that's all corrupt and wicked, and trying to be part of the wicked kingdom so you can be wickedly equal with them. These are the individuals that are going to be in the line with the 2/3 for elimination, as well as scoffers and everyone else that says they don't want to believe what we're telling them in reference to how the Most High's prophecies are happening over hand and over fist. We got a blood moon happening tonight on the 4th of July on the Sabbath. And when that rolls through, you know what happens when a blood moon comes down. That means it's another level of deliverance for the Hebrew Israelites that are of awakening by the Most High. And this is what we understand and recognize. But wicked people don't even see it like that. But you know what? You have had too many final calls now. Your final calls are through. This is the last calls you're going to get. Once this next hammer comes down from the Most High, it's going to be so severe that you think you're going to think that you've been in having a party compared to what he's bringing next. But I'm telling you, don't listen to us if you don't want to. See for yourself. Go ahead and continue to embrace, your oppressors, modifiers, and identifier of who he calls you. And when he calls you that and you embrace it, he knows he ain't got to worry about you. He got your mind under control. He got your heart and your whole life, your whole emotional content and socio-ecological understanding under control, because you're calling yourself exactly what he calls you, and what he's calling you is worse than calling you what he's been calling you. So that's the lesson for today. I hope it was edifying, and if it wasn't, then it needs to get to you in a harsh way anyway, so maybe you might wake the hell up. And if you don't, then what can I tell you? And on that note, I'm going to say shalom and a ball, and hopefully maybe someday you might just wake up.